Tonight, mechanical fault leaves passengers stranded. Shortage of vets now a cause of concern. And more first stations and fire posts planned over the next 5 years. Very good evening. Inter-island vessel operators are under the spotlight tonight after more than 300 passengers bound for Kandavu were stranded for almost 3 days at Suva's Narayan Jetty. The incident comes as the Maritime Safety Administration comes down hard on overloading this festive season. Let us start with the details.
The Lomaiviti Princess was supposed to leave for Kandavu on Wednesday. It did leave the wharf on time, but after a few minutes of its journey, it developed mechanical problems. This forced its return to Narayan Jetty with all 302 passengers on board.
So I didn't want to take any more chances. We brought it in. We had all engineers clean the fuel system out. We had the engineers clean the fuel system out. So took all the water out of the tank. We had a lot of water in our fuel system. So now we had fresh oil back into the system now. As you see, the engines are back up and running.
The same vessel was expected to return from Kandavu and later leave for Taveuni. This delay has left passengers frustrated.
I was told informed yesterday that reporting time today is 4 o'clock. So I brought my mom here to go to Taveuni and it was cancelled.
The owner of the shipping service assured that all passengers will be taken care of.
We apologize for the delay and any convenience that this caused you guys. The passengers on board, we apologize for the convenience, and I know you're supposed to be in Kandavu at the moment, but we promise them we will take all cares for them. All the meals are provided on board. Breakfast we provide them, lunch and dinner we'll provide them for the hardship they went through, and we apologize to the passengers on board.
The Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji was also made aware of the situation last night.
That's his call. He should make that call. That's a safety decision that he made, and we respect that. The vessel did depart. There were some mechanical issues. They've returned to port this morning. They've now, I understand, addressed those, and they're about to depart shortly.
Gondar Shipping hopes to normalize its services by early next week. MSF is also closely monitoring all local vessels this busy festive period.
If they are, we will take the appropriate measures against those in accordance with the Marine Act. As it states, you talk about a $5,000 fine, jail term, and also a penalty of $500 per additional passenger on board.
Over the last 2 years, MSF has suspended and cancelled the certificate of competency for some 20 vessels. Halitesh Dutt, Fiji One News.
There is a shortage of qualified veterinarians in the country. This has been confirmed to Fiji One News by the Agriculture Ministry, who says it now has to rely on expatriate vets to come in and fill the shortage. Our reporter Ravai Vafa'o with the details.
It's a problem not just for pet lovers, but also a serious issue for our livestock industry. Director of Animal Health, Tomasi Tunambuna, says this is a problem that needs to be addressed urgently.
But we've always faced difficulty in trying to retain veterinarians here in Fiji. It's because of the quality of the qualification that they have, together with the experience that they've gained through their work in Fiji. That they're there's quite a lot of demand on Fiji veterinarians, especially in Australia and New Zealand.
Tunambuna added a recurring problem was the local graduating vets opting to work overseas. Right now, there are 2 expatriate vets contracted by government. The last local vet the country had was 15 years ago, a clear indication that something needs to be done urgently.
Budget to take care of the shortage of veterinarians that we have, and even for the budget they had also indicated that we should be addressing other areas which are normally not part of the budget that we are normally provided with. And this includes specialized offices, animal and plant breeders, nutritionists, pathologists, and these are the areas that will also be required to be addressed next year.
Next year, the New Zealand government is funding a vet to be posted here. Tunambuna stated that given the costly nature of establishing and running a veterinary program, the only option right now is to bring in expatriate vets.
The demand for Fiji will probably be less than 10 government veterinarians, and probably around another 8 or 10 in the private sector. So if we are looking at maximum requirement or minimum requirement of 20, I don't really believe that there is a need to have an institution to offer the veterinary course.
The lack of local vets could be something students may want to seriously consider as a possible career in the future. Ravai Vafo'o, Fiji One News.
Recently released worrying statistics on domestic violence earlier this week could soon see a major shift in policy. The Ministry of Women says the focus moving forward will soon shift towards curative measures of what has long been a social problem. Apisalome Rambo with the details.
Our Minister for Women today is saying that recent statistics on domestic violence will now warrant a major rethink of national policies in this area.
It means that the approach that we had been taking really needs to be looked at carefully. And I think with this, our ministry has, in the last 2 years, tried to find an approach that will make a difference.
She says this means that communities themselves will need to take ownership to stop the rising trend. The role of community leaders is also important, according to Dr. Luveni, adding a bottom-up approach is vital.
Leaders that include traditional leaders, church leaders, women's leaders, youth leaders, the leaders that are influential in the communities, they form a committee so that they can commit themselves to a role, the role that they will try to address the issue in their own communities.
So far, the ministry has roped in 60 local communities into their Zero Violence campaign, tapping also into specific women empowering projects to build personal capacity, confidence and resilience.
Which means that 60 communities have formed the gatekeepers committees made up of the leaders that I had mentioned earlier. So these communities have taken ownership of the campaign, and they will organize all the necessary training, awareness, and bringing in the police, because the police are partnering with us in this, and NGOs, including the crisis center, Women's Crisis Center.
Through this strategy, communal, non-government and government stakeholders will work together through a common supporting arm to activate possible preventative measures. Apisalome Rambo, Fiji One News.
The troublesome Suweni River in Madhuwata could soon be diverted. With $500,000 allocated for this, the idea is to help prevent future floods in Lambasa. Halite Start explains.
This is the Suweni River that has been partially responsible for most of the floods that often happen in Lambasa town.
That bridge in Lambasa town, just after the market when we go to Wadrebuka, yes, that bridge was also underwater in 2003 because of this river.
In recent years, residents here also had to relocate because of floodwaters. Plans now to divert the river could change all that.
This house here, there is another bedroom which they removed, which was taken away by that flooding. And likewise for there was another house too, where that man is standing.
The first phase of work has already started.
The scope of work will be 3 to 4 months. But depending on all these works, they depend on the weather.
Halite Stad, Fiji One News.
The National Fire Authority today launched its 5 years strategic planning framework. This maps out the NFA's long-term vision, which includes a major review of its legislation to reflect its expanded functions.
At the very forefront of reforms now facing the NFA is the acknowledgement that their role is no longer limited to firefighting. Now a more broad-based responder to national emergencies, that evolution is something the NFA want to see reflected in its laws.
With the review of the legislation and what we've encompassed in this very important document, our services will be holistic and provide a much more thorough coverage of many of the geographical locations here in Viti Levu and similarly up in the north in Bono Levu.
To maintain its financial sustainability, one area they plan to review is the current fire levy system.
This document will lead on to the formulation of a revised National Fire Authority Act, which will encompass some of the emergency services roles that we've already highlighted in this strategic plan.
also aligning itself to government development plans, new fire stations as well as the introduction of fire posts is also on the cards. The NFA also announced Gionilau Modetai as its new Chief Fire Officer. They also plan to rebrand itself in the near future with a new logo. Reviva Fo'o, Fiji One News.
There were two major fires over the last 24 hours. The first incident was reported late last night, just before midnight. This was at Union Plaza along Thompson Street in the capital city. A cafe and restaurant was completely destroyed with its contents. The scene was attended by NFA. The cause of fire is yet to be determined. And the second incident, early this morning, a 62-year-old of Vaivai Lautoka lost his 5-bedroom house in a fire. Over 1,000 new graduates will be hoping to join the country's workforce. The Fiji National University's graduation ceremony today also witnessed some heartwarming stories of sacrifice and struggle. Reviva Fo'o spoke to a few graduates on their big day.
The accumulation of years of hard work and sacrifices today paying dividends. Today's graduation of some 1,350 FNU graduates also ushering a new era for many of these graduates. Family and friends gathered to witness their loved ones who sacrificed a lot for them to reach the finish line, reaping the fruits of their labor here at the Vodafone Arena. The graduation also comprised of a few graduates from various Pacific Island countries.
It's a blessing and it feels so awesome that even words can't explain. But it wasn't just me, myself. I wouldn't have come this far without my family support. So it was 6 years of sacrifice, not only on my part, but also my family too.
For one such regional student, sacrificing and defying all odds to walk up to get her certificate is a testament that anything is possible through hard work and determination.
I don't give up. I want to finish off the study in spite of all the challenges I'm going through or things ahead of me. I want to finish my study because it's my heart. And it's been a great blessing to be in Fiji, to be graduate, and also to have my baby in Fiji. In spite of their disability, there's something better ahead of them.
There were 3 gold medal recipients from the College of Engineering, Science and Technology, with special awards given to other faculties. The graduation ceremony also paid tribute to a graduate who passed away last week, who would have graduated. Over the next few weeks, another 900 more students will graduate in other parts of the country. Reviva Fo'o, Fiji One News.
Our national air carrier says despite the improved service delivery, they are expecting a lull in travel this time round, considering that this is also the cyclone season. Fiji Airways Chief Executive Stefan Pichler says November to April is always a challenging time for the airline because of potential weather anomalies.
Paying up to $3 million in 3 months for compensating delayed flights to and from Fiji is no small change for a small airline like Fiji Airways. And as our national air carrier tries to improve on that, it is already facing another dilemma.
Now, of course, November will enter the cyclone season and we have more weather warnings and whatever. It's things you can't do anything about. So I expect our company from November until, let's say, the end of March to trade in the 80s. But this is considerably better than it was before. But we need to manage expectations. It won't be 90% anymore, but it will be in a very, very good range.
While the forecast operation for our national air carrier sits at 80% during this low period is still good by international standards, Pichler says the important lessons learned from the months of May to August this year will be used as a yardstick to better performances in the coming year.
We had a very bad performance in terms of disruptions, flight disruptions in the months of May, June, July and August. We focused the management team in September and October. We improved the performance, which was previously around 50-55% of punctual flights, up to 90-91%. So right now, 9 out of 10 flights with Fiji Airways Pacifics are on time.
Pichler says an important element they will bring to the fore during the cyclone season is adequately managing information to ensure passengers are aware of the situation at hand and how this may affect flight disruptions from time to time until the end of the cyclone season.
But once it happens, we have to make sure that we inform our passengers accordingly. And we still need to do some homework that at the outstations, where we usually have handling agents, that they also translate and transmit this information to the passengers. And a lot of the issues we had, beside having additional costs in terms of disruption, was the problem of managing information.
Madhim Bolaitamana, Fiji One News.
Fiji is planning to send a high-level government delegation to Japan next year for a high-level political exchange engagement. The focus of the visit will be to get more politically engaged with the government of Japan. After this planned visit, the focus will then turn to trade and investment talks.
Before you build anything in bilateral relations, you have to make sure that at the highest level of political relationship is maintained and it's in good order. Not only maintained, but it has to be in good order. When that relationship is in good order, only then we can build other things, economics, trades, people-to-people exchange.
Another area which Matai Tonga will be working on from next year is promoting Fiji as a tourism destination in Japan. Matai Tonga is also hoping to negotiate with the relevant parties for a direct flight from Fiji and Japan, something which happened previously.
The infrastructure requirements for trade facilitation is important. It's been discussed right now at senior officials level, and after the visitation at the highest level of the political government, we will move on those.
In the news ahead, Indonesian experts share skills on fish processing, and teachers certified for 1 laptop per child classes. Hello again. 500 workers of the Fiji Pine Group of companies today received 1.5 times their unused sick leave entitlements as bonus pay. They saw a total payout of $278,000 for unused sick leave entitlements. This was paid out to those who did not miss any day of work this year on sick leave. They instead got paid 22.5 days' pay. According to company chairman Faiz Khan, only a few missed out. Khan says this bonus comes as an initiative taken by the company to encourage a healthy, fit, dedicated, committed and punctual workforce. Today, a group of teachers from all over Fiji savoured a moment of their success. For the past 2 weeks, the group had been training with the relevant skills to usher in a younger generation into the new and challenging age of computer literacy. Now certified to try and improve computer literacy and also bridge the digital divide, the teachers are already looking to the task ahead.
I spoke to the officers and officers. I told them make sure that none of them are dropped out because we are relying on you. Because without you, this program will never take a firm grip on its development. Something that the Ministry of Education, particularly from the Minister who wants to see that the program takes off and make sure that the government continue to support the project.
Inbuilt in the machines are special softwares that will enhance the learning abilities of every child. This also ties in with the Ministry of Education's e-learning initiatives and with government's vision of building a smarter nation.
Our school system needs this, and I'm glad that you have sacrificed your holiday, you have come, you have learned, and I'm sure once you are back in the new year, recharged, fully refreshed, you will be able to impart this knowledge to the children of this country, who would be the future of this nation.
The Suva City Council has set out more plans to develop the capital city further. The council has called for expressions of interest for the development of its planned $80 million Suva Market project. The council plans to start work on this project as early as the first quarter of next year.
So we'll be hiring a consultant to look into all the nitty-gritties of how we're going to kick it off. But definitely, hopefully by March, we will start off the market project.
The council also plans to develop the central and foreshore car park. Umaria says the council is looking at possibilities of establishing joint ventureships with investors.
I must say there's a lot of things coming for people of Suva, a lot of investment coming in, a lot of economic growth for the country, and a lot more employment for the people of Suva and Fiji.
2 Indonesian experts in the fisheries sector shared some vital lessons with prisons officials today. This was part of a value-adding training session that was held at Koravo's Remand Center this morning. Participants included 24 inmates and corrections officers from the Suva and Namboro Corrections Facility.
Once they have the skills and then they can share the skills, then it's easier for them to integrate to the community.
The visiting Indonesian experts shared skills such as the different stages of fish processing, from sanitation to cooking. Indonesian Ambassador to Fiji, Chandra Salim, said such workshops also helped foster cultural understanding.
Pass the knowledge for the Fijians to know more about how varieties of food from one single item you can make varieties of products.
Realizing the need to improve overall awareness on the issue of violence against women and children and the school curriculum, the Ministry for Education and UNESCO are conducting a 2-day workshop in Nadi. This is also about empowering teachers and youths in the fight against violence and against women and children within our education system. According to the Ministry of Education, the platform set here in Nadi will go a long way in addressing the message highlighted at the meeting when the school year starts in 2014. Authorities also acknowledge that training such as this is also indicative of the growing trends of violence against women and children, as recently reported in the media.
The Ministry of Education does not condone violence against women and girls, and we are probably seeing that violence is on rise, and we feel it's very important that we educate the women teachers and we educate our children so that when they go down to schools in 2014, they are able to address these issues.
The Fiji Red Cross Society today forged a partnership with the Fiji Disabled People's Federation. Under this agreement, Red Cross Fiji will assist persons living with disabilities before, during and after disasters. Both organizations are currently in the process of compiling disability data specifically for disasters.
That has not happened before. And when you ask the reason why has it not happened before, it's very hard to explain why people of disability have been left out as a focus people during times of disaster.
The Red Cross will also involve persons living with disabilities to be part of some of their special training programs.
This is a good step forward for all of us, and I hear that there's some training also needed for Fiji Red Cross volunteers, which is very much inspiring.
Civil society groups in the Western Division are hoping to strengthen their relationships with the media and team and learn how it can effectively have a voice in the work it is doing. This is what some participants from civil society organizations in the division have been familiarizing themselves with, thanks to a training organized by Australian Aid's Fiji Community Development Program in the Sugar City.
They are not communication officers, but we're trying to help them in terms of how they can communicate the kind of work they do on the ground with the community to the general public. And for that to happen, they really need to have an idea on how to write their messages, the key messages, how to work with the mass media, and then articulating, expressing those key messages to the general public.
The training also saw a number of journalists share with the participants areas they can improve their scope of work in, as far as effectively getting their messages heard in the mainstream media. For one participant, a better knowledge of communication strategies will help improve the image of her organization.
Because we do a lot of work in the communities, and I believe it is very important that the people of Fiji should know the type of work that we do and where to come to if they need help in counseling and other social work that we provide services in.
Our Pacific News segment is up next. Stay with us. The Fiji government has bit back hard against a statement from the Forum Secretariat yesterday. Fiji's Trade Minister and Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum says Fiji stands by its earlier statement that the Secretariat has failed in its obligation to carry out the decisions of the PACP member states.
The Fiji government has never hidden its feelings about the Forum Secretariat in the past. Strong differences over trade talks in the Solomons earlier this week has now magnified that even further. After the Forum statement yesterday denying any wrongdoing on its part, overnight the Fiji government has hit back hard against the regional organization. Fiji's Trade Minister and Attorney General Aya Syed Kiyum says, quote, "The Forum has demonstrated a clear lack of transparency and propriety in the manner in which it organized and conducted the special EPA-related meetings in the Solomon Islands earlier this week," unquote. He adds the Secretariat should have focused its efforts on organizing the meeting instead of dictating terms. Syed Kiyum says, contrary to the statement released by the Secretariat to the media yesterday, Fiji, a country with one of the biggest stakes in the EPA negotiations, had in fact lodged a clear objection to the schedule of meetings in a letter dated the 8th of November to the Tongan Minister for Commerce and lead PACP spokesperson Dr. William Elatu. This, according to Syed Kiyum, was copied to all PACP ministers and the Secretariat. In its letter, the Fiji government says, quote, "Promoting and encouraging regional unity has always been at the very center of Fiji's position in the EPA negotiations, and to be called unpacific by the Forum for standing up for the sovereignty and integrity of the PACP was derisory," unquote. The statement goes on to say that Fiji worked side by side with its neighbors in the Pacific and will do everything in its powers to ensure the best possible future for the region, adding, quote, "We will not compromise on our future. We believe that's truly the Pacific way," unquote. Tonga has also been roped into the argument. Syed Kiyum's statement says that Tonga had in fact immediately supported Fiji's withdrawal from the Joint Trade and Fisheries Ministers meeting on Tuesday. One thing is for sure, this regional diplomatic spat is far from settled. Jeffrey Smith, Fiji One News.
Now remember, if you missed out on any of our stories tonight, you can view our news bulletin on our website at www.fijione.tv. You can also watch previous news bulletins as well as our current affairs, business and sports shows. Basic Industries Limited last night launched their new company website here in the capital. Comprising of two subsidiaries, Humes and Standard Concrete Industries, the two websites are aimed at increasing its visibility. General Manager Moses Bolabola says the revamp of their old websites was long overdue. He says the idea is to make their services more accessible and attractive to their customers.
Where we invite all our customers that we've done business with during the year, contractors, builders, government departments, statutory bodies, commercial entities and private individuals. So we normally do a customer cocktail just to say thank you at the end of every year.
Bolabola says government's $450 million allocation for road upgrading works is also expected to benefit major local contractors such as Humes and Basic Industries.
To invest in roads, not only will we get better roads, the process of building these roads has definitely kickstarted the economy, particularly in the construction industry.
And Kurt is next with sports and manager's report to reveal all on Fiji Sevens.
That's right, Vili. It's the one document that will tell FRU what exactly went wrong in South Africa. But that's coming up. Also ahead, East-West Rugby gunning for final flourish. And baseball targets key communities for final competition.